Kia ora. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. This is a Māori greeting from the Indigenous people of New Zealand, from where I'm from. It means hello and welcome, one and all, to this presentation. Kia ora. My name, thank you. My name is Sarah Gibson. I'm a wife, I'm a mother of 2 boys, and I live to serve and to care for people. I have a passionate belief in the next generation, and I consider that my biggest success to date in life is to have raised happy, confident children. I also have a passion for cricket, and have recently watched the Black Caps play at the home of cricket, Lords, in London. My son is currently playing cricket as a club professional for a cricket club in London, and it was a pleasure for my husband and I to very recently watch a lot of cricket there. I'd love to watch some cricket while I'm here, so if there's anything going on that you recommend, that you think I should go to, please do let me know. I work to unleash potential and to enrich people, business and communities, and I do this through the discipline of business analysis. Today, I want to explore with you some frameworks, some methodologies, some principles, and some models that I've used or seen used successfully in organisations that focus on purpose, on values, on culture, and on leadership to influence business growth and outcomes. We'll also explore some innovation from India and how innovation coming from passion can disrupt industry globally. So, my role in business analysis, as it was said, I'm a board director on the International Institute of Business Analysis. I'm also Chief Executive Officer of Redvespa Consultants Limited, a consultancy headquartered in New Zealand, which specialises in the art and science of business analysis. We have a team of consultants delivering outcomes for our customers through the discipline of BA. So, why is purpose important to the organisations that I work with? Why did we develop our purpose? How did we do it? And who did we involve? So both organisations, IIBA and Redvespa, were at a crossroads in their organisational life cycles. They'd been founded and led by entrepreneurs who were creating products and services and opening up markets. But they both needed more professional management in place. They needed a vision and an associated strategy to deliver to this vision. Redvespa was turning 10 in 2013. I'd been CEO for about 6 months, and we had a number of people come to us and say, when are you going to sell your company? It's successful, you've won awards, you've got a real niche place in the market, when are you selling? And I'd just go, oh, we're not. That's absolutely why we're not in business. We're here to add to the ecosystem and empower people to do their business analysis better. So I had to look for a way of actually proving to people that we were here for the long haul. So I followed the Jim Collins framework. Many of you may know the author, Jim Collins. He's written a book called Good to Great. That's an evidence-based, data, research-based book that where they interviewed a number of companies globally and looked at what was it that made them turn from good companies into great companies. He then developed a framework, the Jim Collins Vision Framework, and I followed that one with Redvespa, and we actually also followed it with IIBA. So the important part of the processes of the framework to really make it sing, enlist all your people and listen to what they have to say. So in Redvespa, our leadership team drafted our purpose and our long-term, big, hairy, audacious goal, as Jim Collins calls it. We then asked the Mars Group to refine these for us. The Mars Group being a small group of people in your organisation who would represent you should you wish to start your company on Mars. They're strongly values aligned, they're outstanding at what they do, and they're seen to be outstanding at what they do. They're true influencers in your community. They will help you to share your purpose and your goals and get feedback from everyone else in your company. They'll then feed this back into the process and ensure buy-in from all. So the Redvespa purpose, to make change happen, we are business analysts after all, to unleash potential and help enrich people, business, and communities. So how did the International Institute of Business Analysis develop our purpose and our long-term vision? Through the exact same process, except all over the phone. Our meetings to define our purpose and our big, hairy, audacious goal and our values were facilitated from the United States, and we worked with business analysis professionals and influencers globally to pull this together. It was exciting and challenging, but the most important thing is that it did involve input from BA communities from all over the world. The IIBA purpose, as you've heard, is to unite a community of professionals to create better business outcomes. We do this through the IIBA values of recognition, collaboration, thought leadership, honesty and integrity, and empowerment. So we have our purpose, our values, our big goals in place. How does culture contribute to successful business outcomes and unleashing potential in all? How does Redvespa apply our values to culture? We're applying care to growing the BA profession. We work incredibly hard to apply care to that profession and to listen and apply empathy to our customers' needs. We're focused on delivery with passion while having fun along the way. Our culture, or our way of working, is demonstrated in our agile, design thinking and our independent approach to the delivery of successful outcomes. We do things with agility. We apply design thinking in how we listen, observe, understand, design and deliver solutions to meet the problems, the needs and realise the opportunities for our customers. We think of ourselves as empathists, as analysts, creators, testers, validators and deliverers, which marks our ability to switch between the critical roles within the design thinking process. We apply design thinking, passion, attitude and a good dose of fun to everything we do. So how have we used the skill set of business analysis to develop and deliver to our strategic program of work, and how has our culture contributed to the successful transition to agile principles for strategy and better business outcomes for us? We've embraced the principles of agile: collaboration, sharing, trust, teamwork, a feeling of ownership and involvement, transparency. Redvespa's business strategy was developed using agile principles. Our strategic pillars are represented through agile vision boxes. Each person in head office has written their own user stories or epics and the associated acceptance criteria. The entire strategy is visible to all the business, and any programs of work or projects relate back to this agile strategy. So far, we've looked at the skill set of BA to purpose, culture and strategy. Now let's explore how this skill set is applied in India. So what was I thinking about when I wanted to talk with you all today? I read the blog posted on the BA Convention website, which starts with, "We at Business Analysis Convention feel that India has created business analysts by chance and not by choice." It goes on to say, no wonder we don't have any of the Google, Facebook or Yahoos born in India. And one reason that we feel is the lack of mindset to identify the right opportunity or business problem and to build an appropriate solution for the same. The blog posting went on to say, "We want to hear your views on this. We're looking forward to your suggestions and possibilities that will allow us to create a national ecosystem to transform the BA capability in IT." So what I'd like to do is, if you wouldn't mind just handing out the pieces of paper there, what I'd like to do is ask you to use your discipline of business analysis to think about what is the problem statement in this blog and what is the outcome that you would like to get to. So there's just some papers being handed out at the moment, and maybe in groups of 3 or 4 or on your own. I want to just give you a few minutes to read the blog posting again in case you haven't read it on the website, and then write down what you think the problem statement is in this blog posting, and then the need statement. A couple more minutes. Okay, is anybody willing to share what they've got written down so that we can just hear what other people are thinking? I want to collect all these in afterwards anyway and share it all with Ashish. But is there anybody who's wanting to share what they think the problem statement is in this blog posting? Yeah.
Problem statement is there is a vast barren land, maybe due to lack of. There's a vast land, maybe due to lack of rain and natural resources, which is lying there, without being used for anything fruitful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the need is that vast land could be converted into the cricket ground.
Okay, thank you. So you've looked at the images on that, yeah. So is there anybody maybe who's had a look at the problem statement written in the blog posting itself? Thank you.
The time is spent too much on complaining and looking the greener side rather than looking at what's needed or what's required at the place.
Great, thank you. Yeah.
I think the bigger question is from India mindset, or basically what we have seen in the blog itself, there is an inability to understand the correct roles and responsibilities of I would say in a quote, a true business analyst basically, which is missing. From a need perspective, I think we need to probably educate or align the mindset of the existing business analyst, or probably the whole ecosystem who is leading it, that what exactly is required from a business analyst, and then probably train them from an academia perspective itself, or probably align ourselves as an industry with academia to nurture those talents from a very beginning. Probably from a domain perspective, from a business analysis perspective, set the mindset correctly, and then train them to a correct, probably what is needed from a business analyst when they hit the career as a business analyst to start with.
Great, thank you very much.
BA community is not in the forefront of the business or a strategy, or why they are not there leading things, why they are there always in the second seat or listening, right?
Absolutely.
So that's the question that's get posed.
Yeah.
As far as India is concerned, it is the mindset of execution mindset or order-taking mindset, rather than consultative, collaborative, leading in the front. It is applicable not just to business analysts, to the entire, the community of the IT service providers. I believe that the other people in the chain of these services, like a project manager or a technical architect, they have gone slightly ahead, and they are in a position to call the shots in many of the engagements. Whereas BAs haven't done it so far. They still remain in the background. They are expected to remain in the background and write documents and support the technical team and the customers and so on and so forth. They transfer what is in the minds of other people rather than giving what they know about what is in the minds of other people, right? It's just a transferring of information from point A to point B. That is what is the most critical thing that I think is pulling the BA community back. So the need statement is, I am seeing pockets of brilliance now. The youngsters that are coming up and playing the role of business analysts, they have their own minds and they are in a position to contribute to much better than the veterans in the community. So what I believe that we need to do is nurture the talent, bring them all together and bring them into the ecosystem, so that the ecosystem itself benefits by their contribution.
Great.
So we have to look at people that have the shining stars and the brilliance in their minds. So
Wonderful.
that's what I think we have to do.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your input. Sorry, I think we need to move on. Ashish said to me we kind of had to move through quite quickly. So if you wouldn't mind just collecting in those papers, then I can have a look at them later and share them back with you. So I just wanted to let you know, I guess, what I do when I read the blog, and what were the questions that I was asking myself, and was I validating that this was the actual problem, and what was the need statement. So using an outside-in perspective, what I was doing was saying, so is this blog actually really true? Is what this blog is saying, do we agree with it? Can we validate it first? What are the intentions with this blog posting? What's the goal, and what is the need that it's trying to overcome? And will the solutions that we think about offering address the actual need and solve that problem? So I agree with a lot of what many of you have said. The problem that I read into out of reading this blog posting was that the BA role and the BA function cannot be carried out by other roles. That currently BA work is too focused on tactical solution delivery and much less on strategic initiatives. That there is a current capability shortage, which results in the need and the high cost of reskilling and retraining graduates to deliver BA work. That this has held the economy back in terms of development, innovation, performance and improvement, and that the focus should be on growth, industry, products, services, entrepreneurship, and the focus should be on career development for business analysis to transform the BA capability. That's what I read into it. But if we turn that blog posting on its head, and let me tell you what I see coming from India, from my perspective in New Zealand. What do I see that you're doing really well that this blog problem is not actually seeing? So let's talk about innovation and India. So what do you think of when you hear innovation? Most likely a highly visible new product or service. But can Indians based out of India do innovation? When you ask in this blog posting, where are the Googles, the Facebooks, or the Yahoos from India, perhaps what we're doing is actually asking the wrong question. You're taking a particular perspective of innovation, and that is innovation for end users. However, end user innovation is not always the need, and invisible innovation is equally powerful. So there's a TED talk, I don't know if many of you may have seen that, by Nirmala Kumar, filmed at the TEDx at London Business School. And in that, Nirmala demonstrates that he thinks that India already has become a global hub for innovation. Remembering that innovation is novelty in how value is created and distributed. So what sort of innovation does Nirmala talk about? He talks about invisible innovation. Innovation for business customers, so made in India but branded elsewhere, outsourcing innovation, value-added research and development services on demand, process innovation, and injection of intelligence, and management innovation, the global services delivery model. So let's celebrate India's invisible innovation. You have given the people what they want. What BA skill set have you used here in India to disrupt the movie industry globally, to put space research at NASA to the test with your own advanced space research, and to disrupt cricket globally? Before we explore this, let me just show you a short video as a lead-in to my outside-in perspective of innovation in India and the influence that your innovation has had globally.
The City Cricket Ground, Blue fires a good match here, Australia.
Thank you. So why were my sons and their friends playing backyard cricket in New Zealand before the final of the 2015 World Cup? Because the innovations of IPL cricket from India has changed the world's view of cricket. It has become a game watched and loved by many, many people globally because of you and your passion for the game. So let's think about why and how this came about. What was the problem that IPL cricket was attempting to address, to which the IPL cricket model as a solution has worked really well? Equally, what was the problem that Bollywood attempted to address, to which the Bollywood model as a solution has worked well? And what's the problem that the Indian Space Agency is addressing with a solution that's working really well? Your application of design thinking and the skill set of business analysis to cricket led to the Indian Premier League, a global disruption that has led to the reinvention and reinvigoration of cricket worldwide. Cricket was not attracting new players. It was dull, it was old-fashioned, and it was no longer fun. But the 2020 IPL has given the people what they want. It has delivered passion and new involvement at all levels and in all types of cricket. Test cricket is now unbelievably exciting, with more runs scored than ever before, players diving around in the field just to stop that one boundary. One-day cricket has also been revitalised. I sat on the edge of my seat watching New Zealand beat Australia in a round-robin game in the World Cup, and then New Zealand beat South Africa in the semi-final in Auckland. There were people sitting all around me who had never been to a cricket game before in their lives. They were loving it, and they can't wait for more. The Indian Premier League has done this for cricket globally. The passion, the team colours, the dances, the music, the atmosphere, and the Bangalore Royal Challengers winning was amazing. Now, let's compare the rise of T20 cricket and business analysis. Cricket used to be for traditionalists who didn't want to change, who liked to stick to the old way of doing things. Business analysis used to be stuck in the technical and IT solution area of business. Now it's crossing all functional areas and influencing at the strategic level of organisations. Business analysis is becoming the starry thing to do, the place to be to really influence better business outcomes. Cricket is a global game now. Business analysis is becoming a global discipline with influence at all levels and the ability to travel and to work anywhere in the world because of your business analysis background. The IPL is paying huge money to get the best players, and companies are starting to recognise the value of good business analysis and paying really good money to get the best resource. The world of cricket is now forever changing, as is the discipline of business analysis. Version 3 of our BA body of knowledge is vastly different to version 2, and with the influence of agile principles, design thinking, and customer experience, our world will continue to change. The innovations of IPL has led to constant improvement in all cricket, and innovations from the IIBA and from all BAs globally in our ecosystem will lead to constant improvement in business outcomes. So let's move on to another new perspective in the discipline of business analysis. How do we put ourselves in the shoes of our customers? Not our stakeholders, but our customers. And how does customer experience journey mapping fit with the discipline of business analysis? I'll explain the phases followed in a customer experience journey and the BA steps along the way. So customer experience journey mapping, as the name suggests, is all about customers and their experience, understanding their touch points with the business. It enables us to know how they interact with specific services, products or channels, and it lets us know what customers think regarding their standards for service or product quality. We can come to know what they expect, highlighting opportunities for capability transformation, and through customer experience journey mapping, know how to effectively listen to the business and respond to customers that illuminates opportunities for improvement. So in our customer journey map, we have the following 7 steps. The define phase. The define phase focuses on the work that needs to be accomplished to create the customer experience journey mapping roadmap. It's a process in which we tease out the client problem, the intention and their goals, which products and or services have been selected for focus, and what is the problem, the need or the opportunity driving the initiative. How will the results be used? These are just some of the questions that we ask in this define phase. Next, in the design phase, we look at design as the process of creating the delivery roadmap and supporting delivery artifacts to enable successful communication of our customer experience insights. So this phase is where our research approach is decided, the measure created, The testing and improved and the modelling, analysis and reporting approach phase is the springboard for the rest of the project, driving how each subsequent phase is completed. Our next phase is the measure phase. So this phase focuses on the collection, the processing and the analysis of data generated through the selected research method. It's at this point that the data is collected, processed, analysed and organised for interpretation. Then we draw conclusions about the customer experience and the emotional journeys as they interact with the business. How well the business responds and performs along the customer journey can identify opportunities for improvement and for innovation. This is a process of evolving data from information to insight, enabling the business to make informed decisions about strategy, growth, improvement and development. Next up is modelling. So modelling is the process of representing the customer experience as an end-to-end journey of customer-driven activities, showing the why, the how, the when and the where the customer interacts with the business. Modelling the customer experience and the emotional journey enables the BA to walk in the customer's shoes and understand their goals, their motivators, their needs and problems, and how they will make decisions along the way. Following this is the analyse phase. We're analysing and interpreting the data, focusing on synthesising all the information and applying logical reasoning and deduction, and then drawing conclusions about what you found. Then the report phase, and lastly, the improve phase. Using an outside-in customer experience journey map adds tremendous insight and value to any product, service or channels, and all using an enhanced business analysis skill set. Let's consider another way to look at innovation and the application of the discipline of business analysis through looking at growth and turning points in fast-growing, often entrepreneurial organisations with the Grainer growth model. The turning points, or the crises in organisations in growth, may lead to invisible or below-the-line innovation, such as that from India. Fast-growing companies can often be chaotic places to work, and as workloads increase exponentially, approaches of which have worked well in the past start failing. The Grainer curve is a useful way of thinking about the crises that organisations experience as they grow. By understanding it as BAs, you can quickly understand the root cause of many of the problems likely to be experienced in growing businesses. More than this, you can help anticipate problems before they occur so that you can meet them with pre-prepared solutions. So Grainer's growth model, it describes phases that organisations go through as they grow. All kinds of organisations, from design shops to manufacturers, construction companies, professional services companies. Each growth phase is made up of a period of relatively stable growth, followed by a crisis, when major organisational change is needed if the company is to carry on growing. Dictionaries define the word crisis as a turning point, but for many of us that has a negative meaning to do with panic. While companies certainly have to change at each of these points, if they can properly plan, there's no need to panic, so let's call them transitions. So there are 6 growth phases as shown. Phase 1 is growth through creativity. Here the entrepreneurs who founded the firm are busy creating products and opening up markets. There aren't many staff, so informal communications works fine. However, as more staff join in, production expands and capital is injected, there's a need for more formal communication. As a business analyst, in the BAU stage of phase 1, you can provide rapid strategy and requirements analysis, proactive solution evaluation with a focus on value, implementation support, UAT, product development, agile fulfillment, process design and implementation. At the turning point, you can provide evidence and guidance on when more formal processes will provide better value. Phase 2 is growth through direction. Growth continues in an environment of more formal communications, budgets, and focus on separate activities like marketing and production. However, there comes a point when the products and processes become so numerous that there's not enough hours in the day for one person to manage them all. This ends with an autonomy crisis. New structures based on delegation are called for. As a BA in the BAU stage of Phase 2, you'll be formalising processes, systems and business capability design. You'll be looking at the backlog and program definition. In the turning point, you'll identify when control and monitoring activities exceed the capacity of one or a few individuals. Phase 3 is growth through delegation. With mid-level managers freed up to react fast to opportunities for new products or new markets, the organisation continues to grow, with top management just monitoring and dealing with the big issues. Many businesses flounder at this stage, as the manager whose directive approach solved the problem at the end of Phase 1 finds it hard to let go. Yet the mid-level managers really struggle with their new roles as leaders. This phase ends with a control crisis. A much more sophisticated head office function is required, and the separate parts of the business need to work well together. So as a BA in the BAU stage of Phase 3, you'll be establishing common BA practices, there'll be a PMO establishment, formal requirement tools, you'll be prioritising initiatives, and could be some form of specialisation. The turning point as a BA is you can identify when centralised business capabilities would provide more value overall. Phase 4 is growth through coordination and monitoring. So growth continues with the previously isolated business units being reorganised into product groups or service practices. Eventually, though, work becomes submerged under increasing amounts of bureaucracy and growth may become stifled. This phase ends in a red tape crisis. A new culture or a structure must be introduced. As a BA in the BAU stage of Phase 4, you might be looking at a BA Centre of Excellence, mentoring, capability expertise, PMO expansion, large multi-year implementations, formalised requirement, architecture and business management rules, tools. At the turning point as a BA, you'll be identifying when value delivery begins to be negatively impacted by adherence to process without the necessary consideration of value delivery and common goals. Growth through collaboration. The formal controls of Phases 2 to 4 are replaced by professional good sense as staff regroup and regroup flexibly in teams to deliver projects in a matrix structure supported by sophisticated information systems and team-based financial rewards. This phase ends with a crisis of internal growth. Further growth can only come by developing partnerships with complementary organisations. As a BA in the BAU stage of Phase 5, you'll be looking at integrated team-based delivery with a focus on value management and delivery as opposed to process improvement. At the turning point, you'll be identifying opportunities of growth brought about by partnerships and illustrate how this is not possible within the organisation on its own. And Phase 6 is growth through extra organisational solutions. Growth rates will vary between and even within phases. The duration of each phase depends almost totally on the rate of growth of the market in which the organisation operates. The longer a phase lasts, though, the harder it will be to implement a transition. As a BA in the BAU stage of Phase 6, you'll be defining partner interactions, interfaces, responsibilities and service level agreements. And at the turning point, you'll be monitoring for any of the previous issues, but on a larger scale. So the business analyst's contribution in the context of the Grainer model, you're like canaries in the coal mine. Business analysts' honed ability to identify business needs means you are well placed to identify when companies are heading towards a Grainer model crisis. Your consensus building skills and your ability to influence decision makers also enables business analysts to help management accept the kind of change that is needed in response to the crisis. Your transition experts. BAs are typically involved with the definition and the management of change in relation to some aspect of product or service improvement. However, the very same skill set that BAs use in such initiatives is needed when an organisation wants to effectively transition from one grainer phase to another. Although the context is different, the business need still has to be clearly identified and effective solutions designed. You're also the champions of value. Good business analysis is all about ensuring that the intended benefit of a change is realised. This disciplined focus on the why is arguably even more important when core aspects of your organisation are being redesigned. We need to empower you so that you can ensure that the expected value is actually delivered. It is my aspiration that every CEO and board for influential organisations globally have the skill set of business analysis sitting alongside them, that skill set is flourishing in our youth, and that we will harness and unleash the collective genius using the power and discipline of business analysis. Regardless of the approach, whether it's using Agile for strategy, a Jim Collins framework, a disruptive approach using below-the-line and visible innovation, an outside-in customer experience approach, or one that looks at defining the growth stages of your organisation, business analysis is all about leadership, asking the right questions to clearly define the problem statement, validating those questions and answers to define a solution. I believe the IIBA and Redvespa are two organisations that are leading through the application of purpose, values and culture to their strategy. They're passionate about the value that business analysis can add, and they'll deliver to their purpose through time, consistency, constancy and compassion. You as BAs in India can also do this and help us to continue disrupting so that business analysis goes up the value chain and helps deliver better business outcomes. It's been my pleasure sharing with you today. Kia ora from New Zealand, and thank you.